Well, y'all, what would you do if I told you that we literally just had a 20% decline in murder rates without taking anybody's guns away, without taking anything away from the population, and just getting rid of criminals, and then all those that may be inclined to do harm? What would you do? What would you just like jaw drop? Would your eyes pop out of your head? Would you be so shocked and appalled that, respecting the rights of an entire nation and then actually putting criminals in jail actually has a positive outcome on the population? That's weird. We're going to walk through the entire thing, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. This one's going to be a little bit of spice because I'll be honest with you. Everything just got disproven of all the lefties that tell you that the way to solve crime is to take away people's rights. Okay, we've established that. Let's get into this. You can follow me on X at Braden LOA. Guys, this is an important one. On Christmas Eve, I've got to show you a Christmas present that was just delivered via Santa's little sack and reindeer. All right. U.S. murders on pace for largest one-year drop on record per Axios. And I've got the article for you, but I find something really important to lay right on the table as we go into this. There were two things that the left was proposing that was the way to solve the murders, solve the crime, solve all the bad things. And the Trump administration and the Trump campaign was focusing on getting rid of crime. Okay, so the first thing the left said was, you need to get rid of all the guns in this nation. We have more guns than people. We have more guns than you could possibly imagine. The easy access and the easy really just availability of firearms is what's causing all the crime. Well, Donald Trump hasn't done any gun control. And I know, it's crazy, but there hasn't been a big bipartisan Safer Communities Act. There hasn't been a banning of assault weapons. There hasn't been a banning of magazines. There hasn't been a nationwide push for red flag laws. There hasn't been a nationwide push of anything gun control related, and yet the crime rates go down. It's almost like it's not an independent object that's doing this, it's humans. Now, something else to add into color and context here, we've also had 2.2 million deportations of illegal immigrants in the past 11 months. And again, I would like to reemphasize 19.8% drop in murders, 23.2% drop in motor vehicle theft, robbery, burglary, property crime, violent crime, theft, rape, and aggravated assault. All of it is falling off a cliff. Now, I want to say very clearly up front, I'm not suggesting that the only people that commit crime are immigrants. I'm not saying that at all. I don't want that to be confused. However, I do find it interesting, and this is the underlying principle here before we get into the article, that all the solutions that the left brought forward were completely torn asunder by the Trump administration. For example, they didn't take any guns away, and yet the murder rate fell. They actually started putting criminals in jail through these woke DAs and woke justices that were just removed, or judges that were removed, and now all of a sudden, the crime rates are going down. The prescription that the Democrats and the left was proposing was poison. Let all the criminals out completely, freewheeling just access to the United States. You have cash bail, or no cash bail. You just go on. There's no reason to stay in here. We got too many people in jail. Maybe it's because criminals. I don't know. And then we're also going to take guns away from the population. Well, it's kind of weird how no guns were taken away and people are actually staying in jail, and then we also deported immigration. It's odd. It's odd. It's a mystery. Maybe we can get to the bottom of it. Oh, I actually want to show you something. That's just an easier representation, and everything's linked in the description box below. Now, Dan Bongino has jumped in on this, and personally, I, for one, am very excited to get him back in the ecosphere of the right, because honest to goodness, the man's voice has a good power to it, and I'm ready for another voice to be thrown into the mix. All right. This is what happens when you mix a president with a vision of safer streets with a team dedicated to implementing the vision. Talk is cheap, results matter. And before I show you this article, which is right here, that's kind of one of the things that I really want to hit on in this video. Talk is cheap. Results do matter. And when we get good results, I'm going to shout them from the rooftops, because the policies of which you and I prescribe to are working, and they're working very, very, very well. I've already shown you tons of economic data that is going in the positive direction. I'm showing you crime that is going in the positive direction. I am mixing in a little bit of sarcasm and mockery of the left, who said that the only way to solve crime and murder was to take guns away, when guns weren't taken away and the murder rate is falling off of a freaking cliff. I would just like to illustrate that point. It's about the policies. It's about the vision for the country that you and I have that aligns with the people in power in this moment. Honest to God, it's working. And it's going to work more and more and more, in my opinion, unless something dramatically changes. but I don't see it dramatically changing because the momentum is going in one very positive direction. Now let's get into the article, because this is how we save the country, by highlighting these things and sharing it out everywhere. U.S. murders on pace for the largest one-year drop on record. Percentage change in select types of crime, 2024 to 2025. As you can see, I've shown you this in a couple different tweets. Percentage change in select types of crime: murder, motor vehicle theft, 23; murder, 19.8; robbery, 18.3; burglary, 14.8; property crime, 12.3; violent crime, 10.2; theft, rape, aggravated assault, sub 10. Y'all, is this not what you voted for? I mean, my God, yes. The U.S. is on pace for the largest one-year drop in murders the nation has ever recorded, according to an analysis by crime stats expert Jeff Asher. The big picture: the decline in killings is part of a broader decrease in violent crime following the COVID-era spike. Mass killings in the U.S. also fell in 2025, reaching their lowest level since 2006. I want to have a conversation with you real quick about this part. If you've got murders falling off of a cliff, more guns than have ever been sold in history are still in circulation, by the way, and you have fewer mass killings since 2006, 19 years, that would indicate something else is going on, because the guns have not only remained at a static, they've also been increasing. So how can guns and ownership of Americans supporting their Second Amendment rights be going upward, crime be going downward, if the entire impetus of the left was, well, guns create crime, and the very existence of guns, this is a birthright of the American citizenry, and the Second Amendment, which is meant to keep tyranny at bay. How is that possible if that's the cause of all the problems? Because it's not possible. It's a manipulation. Murder is down. Mass killings are down. Basically, the two main reasons that they try to take gun rights away are falling off of a cliff, and all of a sudden, mum's the word. Did you hear how mean Donald Trump's tweets were? All right, let's keep on going. The Real-Time Crime Index, which compiles data from 570 law enforcement agencies, shows a nearly 20% decline in murders this year compared with the same period in 2024. Biden. The database's statistics are currently available through October. The FBI will not release official 2025 violent crime data until sometime next year, though RTCI estimates they have historically tracked closely with federal figures. Other major crime categories measured by the index were also down nationwide and across locations of all population sizes, including motor vehicle thefts, aggravated assaults, and robbery. Here's the whole point, guys, and they got to try this on Access. They got to put a little wrench in. I'm going to show you in a second. Everything that everyone voted for is changing. Effectively, across the board. Genuinely, yes. President Trump has prioritized cracking down on violent crime in his second term. Here we go. Here's the little wrench. Though there's no clear evidence linking his policies to the decline, crime rates have been declining since 2021, according to data from the FBI and RTCI. There's no evidence of that. Everything is trending that way. More in law enforcement, National Guard, which made him a fascist. All that. No evidence at all. D.C., which he's claimed made safer due to his efforts, which, again, National Guard, saw nearly a 28% decline in murders this year. 28% decline after the National Guard was deployed to D.C. He was called a fascist. He was called killing people. Everything was horrible, awful. It's beyond the measure of how bad this is. 28% fall. Well, there's no indicator that anything that he did had anything to do with it. Y'all, for the love of God, let me just sum this up real quick. Gun purchases still going up. No confiscation, no seizure, no nothing. Crime going off a cliff. Those are completely opposite, and somehow nothing to do with anything about our rights or our ability to defend ourselves, our ability to even, fend off tyranny. No. Those objects make more crime, except when there's no crime, in which case that's a different conversation because obviously we're just idiots. Yeah, you are. And that's what I've got for you guys. By the way, not you guys, the lefties. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.